will be a great wrestling podcast, and you can believe in that.
I knew he was going to do it. I knew.
This is OT3.
Prepare for launch. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. While we're setting up here, we have a little special surprise that we want to start off the show. As you heard, our OT3 started out the show, but for all the, in memory of everyone out there that fought for this country, we appreciate everything you do, and I know for myself, and I'm sure for Matt, we're proud to be Americans. So
yeah.
I'm gonna let Matt actually take this one. I know this is a very special holiday to everyone here in America, but I know Matt wants to talk about the true essence of this holiday. So Matt, I'm gonna let you take over.
Yeah, just a little off wrestling topic real quick. I mean, the true essence of this holiday isn't, veterans. They have a Veteran Day, Armed Forces, Military Day. This is more for the people who lost their lives defending this country. All the people in the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea. It's for them. Operation Iraqi Freedom. This is for them. This is the memory of those people who died serving this country. So to anyone lost their lives, all your family members, just thank you from the bottom of our hearts at OT3.
Absolutely. Jinx there, Paul. I think we both said absolutely there at the same time. But we're back, everybody.
Yay!
I want to say that the last time, this is the first time since May 2nd. It was episode 12. Episode 13 was Matt by himself, and I know we took a couple weeks off there. Had a couple of things going on, but all three of us are here tonight. And gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be back with you here. How's everyone doing?
Good, man. It's good to see everybody back together again. The band is back. Is that too loud? Am I coming in pretty loud?
No, you're good.
Okay,
You sound
You
good.
can't see me. Oh,
I was just going to
wait
say,
a
we're
minute.
speaking of being back.
As The Rock would say, of course we can see you, big fat bowl of fruity pebbles. Ooh, John Cena's back. Yay. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a little bit happy, but so what? It's the youth movement now. Oh, I want to see Dean. I want to see Kevin. Cena, time to maybe take a little step in the back. This isn't about you anymore. This is about the new era. Yeah, that's right.
As
More on
Enzo would say, we got a couple haters. Is that what we got here? We got a couple haters.
Yep.
I don't see the big. Here's the thing.
I thought you were a
agree with you,
Cena fan.
Hell.
He does. He likes him. He has a
No.
poster on his wall. Who's the
Oh,
kid? Look at him
no.
smiling. Look at him.
Isn't your you're like pseudo Twitter is like at Matt I am Cena or something
Oh,
like that, right?
Jesus.
Take out his Twitter handle there. That's not the real one. We all know it's. He just told everybody now. Now everyone's gonna follow you on that one, your fan page. But I agree with Matt. It is the new era, but I think Cena coming back is gonna be a huge benefit. Now I am gonna be upset if he does get the final spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I think that should be someone else. I really hope that they build tonight to Cena versus Styles at Money in the Bank, because that's a match and a feud I would love to see going into the summer. So I'm hoping that they do that. There's a lot of variables tonight, though, and I know we've talked about it, but before we get into those cryptic tweets that we've been seeing and what it could possibly mean, a little bit more about Cena. Do you see Cena tonight getting a qualifying match, being awarded the final spot, starting a new feud with someone, going for a title? What do you think, Matt? What do you think's happening tonight for Cena?
I think he's going to come out. He's going to say, oh, it's good to be back. You're going to hear the Cena suts. Let's go, Cena, blah, blah, blah. And then the lights are going to go out. And then we're going to see Bray Wyatt standing right in front of him with the Wyatt family returning. Because the last time we saw the Wyatt family, the last time we saw Cena did some FUs to some Wyatt. Oh, what's it called? The attitude adjustment. I'm sorry. PG era. Sorry. He was kicking the crap out of the Wyatt family with the Rock. Do you think Bray Wyatt's going to forget about that? Most of the time when people are going after Bray Wyatt, he doesn't forget things. Yes, we've already seen the feuds, but you can't tell me something's not going to happen tonight with those two, because Bray Wyatt in the back of his head, Cena got him at WrestleMania. Rowan lost in, 10 seconds?
6.
Another freaking record they gave The Rock, a part-timer for no reason. See, look, I you know what, for some reason I said the part-timer thing is because I watched the CM Punk thing with Colt Cabana again, and I really started to think about how badly they screwed him over, but besides the point with part-timers. But the last time we saw Bray Wyatt, Cena was giving him an attitude adjustment. So I think they're going to continue that tonight.
Wow, I mean, you must have had some sour grapes today or something, man. You're just bitter about a lot of things today, huh, Paul? You hear this? The Rock, Cena, he's just all of them are upsetting him.
What happened to Paul? I think Paul left.
I think Paul left us, yeah.
No.
All right, well,
I'm dumb. I can't.
he's
I
there.
forgot to put up my volume. Well, sorry. What
That's
was?
I said you got some sour grapes here. It looks like he ate today with all this bitterness towards Cena, The Rock.
No.
But
What's happening, man? You need
I don't know.
you need some happy juice over there.
But
or
no,
something.
I'm serious. I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, literally, the last time we both saw these guys, Cena was getting the upper hand on the Wyatt families. We haven't seen them since the Cena attack, and we haven't seen Cena since then. So why not?
Were you ever a fan of Cena's?
Me?
Yeah.
When he was up and coming, yes. But as what they're doing now with Roman Reigns, they threw him down everyone's throat. But Cena's the only guy I honestly hope does break Ric Flair's record, because between Cena and The Rock, Cena's the most loyal guy in the company and always will be. So that's why I'm still going to hope that Cena breaks Flair's record, 'cause I think if anyone deserves it, it's John.
So I'm playing ignorant producer role here. What's the record?
16
For
World Championship.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's Cena 14 or 15?
15.
15. So Cena needs 2 more. He's going to get it. Trust me.
He
I
needs
think
one more to tie. I'm sure
I
he'll get
think
it by the end
Flair's
of this
one-
year.
I think Flair even came out and said he wants Cena to be the one to break the record.
Yeah, and touching on that, I agree with you 100%. I think if someone's going to do it, it should be Cena, because he has been there no matter what, and he does all these side projects to get more, more eyes on the product. It's not to leave and do something else. It's to leave to get more publicity for the WWE, because that's his number one goal. I mean, you see that the guy has the most Make-A-Wish granted by any figure in entertainment. So I mean, that itself is another testament to just what he'll do. Not only just for his company, but just for people in general and the public. So if someone's going to do it, there's definitely as polar, as the polar opposite reactions he gets, whether it's Cena sucks or let's go Cena, there's no doubt that everyone respects him for what he's done for the company. So I'm looking forward to seeing him return.
I always thought he was a pretty respected guy in wrestling for the most part. But yeah. I don't know. Match just
Absolutely.
Who knows?
But I honestly think Cena and Bray may face each other for the final spot in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
tonight.
I mean, it's possible. And do you think someone gets involved there to cost one of them, or you think it's just a clean
you got
finish
the
for one
Wyatt
of them?
you got the Wyatt family, and we still have what's going to happen with the club. Are they going to get involved and maybe try to make a name for themselves to try to take down Cena? Who knows?
Yeah, and
maybe we set up Finn versus Cena.
Yeah, and that's the thing, as I'm trying to wonder now, is what Styles going to do. Is the club going to get involved in his match tonight? Because I really thought last week, I expected Owens to be in the match. I was really hoping Owens and Styles would be in the ladder match. But I was expecting the club to get involved and cost Styles somehow. And then when Styles lost clean, I'm just like, where are they going with Styles? And then on SmackDown, he cuts that promo and says, he just didn't know, and he walked away. He didn't have anything to say. So
It was a great
wondering,
match.
yeah, it was a great match on Raw for the main event. So I'm looking forward to how they continue building on that, and hopefully Styles gets something good out of it. Like I said, Styles Cena would be great. You bring up a great idea with the Wyatt Cena thing for Mania, but I really hope that they don't do that again, unless it's going to benefit Wyatt and he's actually going to win. But
Think about this. I want everyone to think about this for a second. Cena versus AJ Styles. A match no one thought would happen. At one point, both of these guys were the top faces in their respective company. Cena for WWE, AJ for TNA, and it was one of those dream matches that people always said, oh man, can you imagine if these two faces, went at it with each other? Now, it's a possibility now. Now it can happen.
Yeah, and you know what, I'm actually going to move off of Cena, and speaking of TNA real quick, you saw, we haven't really had a chance to touch on it. We kept up with it on the Facebook and on the Twitter, but a lot of releases happened, and perhaps the most shocking was Cody Rhodes asking for his release. Yeah, he didn't have a lot going on, but I don't think, I mean, you might have, but I didn't really think that was going to happen. I didn't think Cody Rhodes would ask to go.
I thought he was going to not be Stardust anymore. That's about it.
Yeah, and I'm reading now that he was told he wasn't going to be, and then they kept it on him, and that was when he was like, all right, that's the final straw. That's why he had been putting on, Twitter and Instagram all those photos of like the half paint on his face and then the half non, because like he was alluding to that happening, and he had been building it, and he felt like, he got duped basically, because he was building to all this, and then it ended up having zero, payoff for him. So I think that's just a crummy
I don't see
situation.
him anything else right now. I think
Well, he's got to wait till August. But did you
Well-
see that list he made of all the opponents he wants to face?
he made the list, but right now I see him taking some time off. Obviously, his wife was also just released. And
She
I
asked
really
for it,
see him. I really see him taking time off from from wrestling. I think his dad's death really affected him more than what people thought it did. I mean, obviously he still came and wrestled. All that other stuff. But I think his change in life really affected that, and I really wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him somewhere for a year. Now, the other big rumor going around on the internet is this is all work. Him getting released and Damien Shadow getting released was all a work. Now,
Saying that.
Shadow obviously has gone out and already done some independent things or whatever. I don't think that's a work, though, but there's a little rumor going around these two are going to do a Rhodes Scholar invasion as to get back at WWE, come back at people like the main man who's still in charge, Triple H, and Shane could bring them back in under his power wherever, the split brand goes. And he's like, look, I'm bringing these two back to show what they can do. So, I mean, those are big rumors going around. Obviously, I don't know if that's going to happen. Probably not, but there's whole things that going on the internet of what's going to happen with these guys.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That would be a interesting way to do it. I don't think it's going to happen, especially after the thing he put out there, the statement he made. So I think that it's kind of So the reason why I brought up TNA was because they had interviewed Dixie and said, "Do you think that there's people that were recently left WWE that could help you?" And she said, "We've used people in the past, like how Galloway's worked out there, known as Drew McIntyre in WWE. But I think, if the company gets settled financially, I think Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett could be huge players for TNA if the company is right. If the company's not going to be right, I think that Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett would benefit greatly from going to New Japan or ROH. And ROH maybe get a legitimate TV deal out of it, on a regular basis. So, but I think until there's a financial set point for TNA, they can talk about wanting these guys, but I think it would just not be good for Cody because, he could go there and become world champion because he could have probably gotten a chance with this split now in WWE to get a shot at the world title. But I don't think it's smart on him or any of them really to go over there right now until there's, credibility.
You know who is going to TNA?
Who?
Ryborg.
Oh, no. Yeah, I can't believe he tweeted. I forgot
He's
about him.
so
He's still not released
stupid.
yet either.
He's so stupid. You pretty much just signed your papers saying that.
Yeah.
You might as well have just said, release me. Why would you put on your tweet when you're still employed by WWE, you may see Ryborg in the Impact Zone? You literally just, you might as well just go ahead and just sign a paper saying, please release me, because you just did career suicide. You never, ever mention TNA if you're on another, company at all.
Especially tell them to chant it during Monday night. Was it during Extreme Rules? He said chant Ryborg and Impact something. He said chant it in the crowd, Impact Zone, something like that.
Well, you saw not Extreme Rules. What was the one before Extreme Rules? No, it was Extreme Rules. It was Payback. But Extreme Rules, he did the whole CM Punk thing.
Yeah, at Payback. Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's just.
That was
the night. Go ahead.
Did you say he got released after that?
No, he
hasn't yet.
But they say more's coming this month, so I predict him.
I can't
I
believe
predict
he
it's
would
going to
do
happen.
that.
Now, speaking of the end of things, do a little segue into end of things. NXT Takeover Revenge got changed to NXT The End. A lot of people are going out. What does this mean with the brand split? Are they getting rid of NXT and everyone's getting called up, or is this the end of the Samoa Joe Finn Balor rival, or is this the end of certain people in TNA? What were your thoughts on that? Because that was very interesting by Triple H to put that out.
All right. So my initial thoughts right away were the NXT The End meant it's the end of the rivalries that you're seeing. It's the end of that original era that really got this moving. Before Finn even got there. Neville and Zayn are gone already. They were and Bo Dallas. Those guys are the beginning. Then the tag team, the Ascension, they're up. So I think they're kind of saying that that wave moved, and now this next wave of Finn Balor and who else? Maybe the Revival, Bayley. People like that are going to move up and go to the main roster. I don't necessarily think NXT is going to be over. I don't see why they would end NXT of how hot it is right now on the people love it. It's becoming a huge thing. It's talked about more sometimes in the WWE and the shows usually. I mean, you could agree, I'm sure, with this, or most of the time are better than the main roster shows. So I don't think that it's ending like that. But then my second part is I saw on, I think it was on one of the pages on another wrestling page posted that supposedly someone leaked what the roster would look like. Now, I don't believe it because I don't see why the document would look like that.
Did you read what people were saying that the background of that? Because I saw you actually repost it was from the old Monday Night background. So I think that was.
No, not that one.
No.
There's a list now going out that looks like it was typed on Microsoft Word that says Raw and SmackDown,
Okay.
and then it says Reigns and Charlotte, both shows, and then it has a list of people all the way down to the announce team and like the backstage announcers.
Corey Graves
but
on anything?
Corey Graves would have been the SmackDown announcer on this list. Kung Fu Naki would be the SmackDown backstage commentator. So the number one announcer would be back on SmackDown.
So now,
but then there was.
now you listening to that really just pissed me off now.
Why is that?
Because now I know, since you say Reigns and Charlotte down the middle, there's only going to be one heavyweight champion.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, and that's why I don't think
like
that
that.
list is true, because I've heard that it's almost a certainty that SmackDown's going to get a second title, and it's going to have the blue plates on it. So that's why I just think that right now it's all rumors. Again, this is just speculation. This is no factual information, nor do I have the sources that put these out there. But they were showing multiple, I want to say close to 15 NXT call-ups on these rosters. And I'm talking about guys that are still just getting
Nakamura called up?
acclimated. Nakamura. So, I mean, such guys as recent as Elias Sampson and No Way Jose were on the list. So, I mean, and most of the tag teams were on there. So, I mean, it would really deplete the roster down in NXT unless they know something. Even Bobby Roode was on the list. So
Really? Where was he?
yeah,
at?
he was on Raw.
That's very interesting because he hasn't even been. Oh, actually, you know what? I just saw it right here.
Yep. So you could kind of see if you want to read more. I mean, like I said, for the most part, I understood, and some of them I think still will happen. But I don't know about some of those. There was, I mean, you can look if you look towards the bottom half. There's at least 10 NXT people on each list. One of the things I found shocking too was they had Mojo and Zack Ryder split up.
I think that's coming to an end, as in Ryder's more over than Mojo. I think Mojo's getting booed a lot now.
Yeah.
So we could see a rivalry begin there, I think, in NXT.
Yeah, I mean it could, and that's if those guys stay. And that's the thing is right now is if that list becomes true, or if it doesn't. I think that list will end up being that it was a mistake. I think maybe in the future those guys, but I really can't see like No Way Jose is still new. I can't see him getting called up as soon as July already. You know.
Well, yeah. Look, they have the Ascension, and that one dude's still suspended.
Yeah, and then but like if you look even further, look down the list. Some of the guys, that's what I'm saying, are brand new.
Bobby Roode. Yeah.
Roode hasn't even signed officially to
Hideo
WWE.
Oh yeah,
contract.
Hideo Tommy's another guy coming back soon.
Yeah,
I
he's
can't
coming
wait
back
for
from injury.
that. God,
So
please have him and Nakamura just face each other. Please.
that'd be awesome. That would be sweet. But like I said, just speculation. Definitely interested in it to see where it goes. But I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out more so when we read more information on it and go further. Maybe tonight, like they've showed this cryptic tweet over and over now about Hatch 5:30, which is today. I've read multiple rumors that it could be. You think it's Bray Wyatt, which I do too, because then he's also posted tweets. It could be a possibility that it's Wyatt returning, and now I've also heard that it could be for the new WWE 2K17.
Wait. Today's the 30th.
Yes,
Hold on.
that's why I'm saying it says Hatch. Which means
No,
it's-
not the Hatch thing. Takeover's on Sunday. Not Sunday. It's on Nets. Oh, it's Nets Wednesday. Okay,
next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, right? Not this Wednesday coming up?
Nets Wednesday. I saw the 8th for some reason. I thought the 8th was Saturday again, so it's not gonna be on Wednesday. Okay,
It's going to be on Wednesday, yeah.
awesome. That means and they only have four matches announced. I'm assuming they're gonna go one more.
Yeah, I'd assume one more will be confirmed.
Sorry, we'll talk about that next week.
No, absolutely. But yeah, like Matt said, we won't talk too much more about the takeover to the end card. But if you guys have any insight too about what you think is going to happen and what the end means, please write us about that as well, because we'll definitely be talking about that more so next week on the show.
I just did my impression.
You know who we didn't talk about yet on Monday Night Raw after making a return at Extreme Rules?
Wait,
It's
wait,
the
wait,
man
wait,
I'm wearing a shirt.
Wait. Is it the Architect?
The Architect.
Who came out to a whole bunch of cheers and was trying to make a heel as much as he could and couldn't do it. That's hilarious.
They were cheering him even when he was a bad guy before, though. That's the thing. It's because they wanted to beat Roman, and that's why I love like when he came out and he said, you guys are all cheering me. He said, and you used to tell me that I was the worst champion and that you couldn't wait for someone to beat me, yet no one could.
You really want to know what my problem was with Roman when Rollins when he was champion? My big thing with him, he never really had a clean finish. Except I think the Sting one was clean, I believe, wasn't it, Sting?
Well, he was injured, but yeah.
Yeah,
one
other than
got
that,
involved.
I can't recall a clean finish he had, and that was the only problem I had with Rollins was he never had a clean finish.
And that was part of the
whole
character
story.
they made him out to be. But I think that he could have done it, and I think they should have had him at least win a couple here and there on his own, but like you said, most of his matches had some kind of assistance, whether it was like a ref, someone getting distracted.
When Taker comes out, hits Lesnar square in the balls.
Yep. John Stewart
That was
throws the
stupid.
yeah.
That was the dumbest thing.
That was my favorite.
To this day, I will never understand that. That was, at least it was better than David Arquette winning the title, though.
The world champ, David Arquette.
Don't even get me started.
Oh man, but yeah. So speaking of that happening, like I said, if it's WWE 2K17, let down, expected,
but let down. I hate that you build like the whole Undertaker thing before when they were doing the whole little I think it was a couple years ago, the little cabin thing.
Yeah.
And they kept showing the scorpion that was walking around, and you're like, oh man. And then you see the hat, and you're like, you ripped my soul out because I see a scorpion. So many clues are in there that it's Sting, and then you see the Undertaker, and you're just like, really? I think at that point they were trying to sign Sting, and I think Undertaker was the backup plan. I think.
Yeah, it was going to be Sting and Undertaker, I think, and
but
it didn't
they've
work
done
out.
so many things where they built it up, and then when it comes out, it's just like the whole that little kid and the little boy in the school thing. And
the Jericho one.
Stupid. What the hell was that?
Oh, I liked that.
That had nothing to ever do
the end
with
of the
Chris
world
Jericho.
as you know it. That was
It had
great.
Nothing to do with Chris Jericho, and it's just and then the storyline was horrible afterwards. He came out, he didn't talk, and then he sucked in the Rumble.
Matt, for not liking anything that WWE does, you sure do watch it a lot.
Well, no, they always, Anthony can agree with me.
Thank you, Paul.
They always build up stuff, and then it just falls flat on your face. Anthony can agree with me. It always happens.
Yeah, there's some stuff they build up, and it's like, and there it goes.
Like the Bray Wyatt thing. They showed Sister Abigail now twice. Now, let's not go before. We would go 2 years ago where she actually mysteriously, the little appearance in the Hell in a Cell that made Dean Ambrose another Rollins, win with some help. And then you're like, all right, cool. Maybe now they'll introduce Sister Abigail. Never happened. Now they're showing her. He's just going to say, she's giving me more powers. But you're not going to see her. Because you know what the problem is? They don't know who they want to play Sister Abigail. That's the problem.
No, they don't.
And I tell you what, the person I sent you the text in, the only reason I say it could be her is because she looks like an emo chick who could play it.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it. Paige. I mean, I could see it.
That's the only.
And they're not. I don't know what's going on with her. 3-time Divas champion, and now she has absolutely nothing going on.
She's getting tattoos named Poppy on it for Alberto Del Rio. That's what's going on with her.
I know about that. Dang it.
Never mind. I'm not going to say that what he still is, but that's the only. That means they've completely taken her off TV. She had that heel turn and then face turn in like the same month, which I think is a record for a heel and a face turn within a 3-week span.
Big Show does them in the same show.
Big Show, I have no problem with Big Show anymore because he actually puts over younger talent. I actually respect him for that. After watching that podcast with Stone Cold, he has my respect. The fact I had no idea he only won 2 matches in the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. I mean, I never had an issue with that. I'm just saying they made allusion to that too, about turning him so much because he just does what he needs to do for the younger talent to make them credible.
And I love it.
I respect it.
And I think him and Kane, I believe, have been doing house shows lately with the Wyatt family. I want to believe it's been those two, I think. So I think
that's good. At least they're getting Strowman some more matches in, too.
But, I mean, I think Sister Abigail, I think the best person right now, if you look at the roster and the females you have, the only person I can think of is Paige because of the way she could look and, the little emo type feel. Maybe she can try that mysterious thing. Other than that, I mean, do you have any other suggestions of a diva who could do it? Or maybe someone new. I mean, there really is no diva.
If you do a diva, not necessarily that that she's emo, but she's just brute strength and it would be kind of scary for any of the other girls to go against her. But Nia Jax, man, I mean, you think about it, like no one's going to be able to take her down. You know, she's
That'd
known
be
as like
awesome
this.
calling.
If she came back, that'd be awesome too,
That'd be
as
so
Karma. I mean, but they have that like brute strength. You know what I mean? To where she can, you know, you saw in the match with Bailey when she had it that one time, she had her down to like the last couple seconds until Bailey finally got her, you know, down. But she was dominating the match. So I mean, that would be interesting to see that. But I think that for what we've seen so far and like what you've seen in the pictures that he's been posting, it looks like it would best fit if it was Paige, especially to give her something, and then she could help the Wyatts even more. So that would be
Now
nice.
I can't wait. If it's her, I can't wait to hear the promo because I want to know what's going on with this. And then
Yeah.
then here comes Del Rio to come out and be like, "I'm saving you." Del
Oh,
Rio's a
God.
Wyatt member.
Oh no, Alberto Del Wyatt.
But all right, so
Jeez.
now we got those. You know, I think we pretty much now nailed all the Twitter mysteriousness that's been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, really, where do you? Crap, my freaking iPhone is doing a little Siri thing. What do you do with Rusev now? So he completely just killed Kalisto twice.
And you know what, man? You got it. Hats off to Kalisto, man. He had some great matches. With,
Oh my God, though,
did
that
you see the
Extreme
slam when he
Rules-
body slammed him? He body slammed Rusev on SmackDown.
I
He
know,
picked him up.
but that Extreme Rules, I thought Rusev was gonna snap. Kalisto is flexible
Oh,
as hell. 'Cause
that
I would have killed
accolade?
myself.
Oh my God, yeah.
I would
He
have
had him
died.
contorted.
I would. He as soon as he put it in, I'd have been like, "Yeah, I'm done. Don't even." I mean, like. And then you know who brought up a really good point about that match was James, our buddy. You know how they were trying to sell that Kalisto was hurt and everything, and then he goes run to the ring, does the jump thing like he wasn't even hurt, and it's just like, come on, man, you got to sell the thing. You can't go out and do your jump if you just got destroyed on Raw and SmackDown. Sell it. But
Yeah.
you said yourself, him and Sin Cara are a bunch of a-holes. Hey, I'm just
Real quick, I don't mean to go off topic, but we actually had someone in the comments talking about Sister Abigail, and this is something that had been rumored a long time ago, and this was sent to us by Sean, about Bray's real-life sister, Mika, actually being Abigail. They had talked about this for a while, and I know she had been trained a little bit, and they had talked about at one point even maybe repackaging Bray, Bo Dallas, and Mika to be like the Wyatt family, the three of them, and then maybe like moving the Wyatts away from him, like he sets them free type thing. That would be something very interesting too, to see if this is something that no one has any idea about, that she's even been signed this whole time, and then she shows up, because everyone will be like, who is that, outside of the people that know who Mika is and have seen, you know, like that's their sister in real life. So that would be really something interesting. So I do appreciate that, Sean.
And he says she's got the look too, which doesn't surprise me. She's a member of their family.
So
Yeah.
is she a wrestler now? I mean, is she part
She's
of the?
trained, as far as I know, because her, you might remember, Paul, you said you watched wrestling a little bit. You used to watch it a little, about 10, 15 years ago. You watched it more often than now, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember IRS?
Not
They
really.
used to come with the $1 million. Okay, well, IRS was in, I want to say it was like the 80s and the 90s. He used to come down with the $1 Million Man, and basically that was him. He was
Billion
like,
dollar man.
he would say he would audit your taxes type thing, and that's actually their father. So
Okay.
they're in like a wrestling family.
Barry Windham.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. So
So,
she's involved.
She's
in...
been trained, yeah, I think from other people.
Okay.
I'm
gotcha.
sorry. I think Bo with Wyatt would be great because he needs to be repackaged. I'm sorry,
have to do
Social
something, yeah.
Outcasts, that not working. They got themselves in a movie, but that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean, I do want to say thank you, because that brought up a nice topic of how I would love to see that repackaging of the Wyatts with Bo and Mika.
Bo
So
needs,
thank
Bo
you.
needs a repackage. The Social Outcasts is just I mean, now there's rumors they're going to be, going for the title at Money in the
Yeah,
Bank.
just as a filler. They're gonna fill.
Yeah, they're going to fill
To
until
Enzo and Cass at
and
SummerSlam.
Dudley's. Enzo wrestled over the live event, so now, he's back. Great. You know what? Speaking of Enzo, that is amazing how he's back as quick as he is with the fall
Yeah.
that he took. So,
And-
kudos to him for coming back. And I tell you what, he didn't miss a beat. And I tell you what, him being out was a blessing in disguise for Big Cass. Because you know what that really proved? Big Cass actually has gotten better on the mic. We've seen over the
Yeah.
last couple weeks. So I think it's shown that Big Cass, if he needs to, he could definitely go out on his own if he has to, if it comes to that point. But I mean, it was great for Big Cass to finally see what he can do on his own, and he did great.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, and I look forward to seeing more growth from Big Cass and Enzo together and separate in individual contests.
I
So,
can't wait till they finally face the New Day and we get some great promos.
oh yeah, that's
'Cause
going to be
those
going into the
promos-
summer season, man. The second biggest pay-per-view of the year, SummerSlam. I think you're going to get that match, and it's going to be awesome, awesome TV, like you said, to watch with those promos down the line into SummerSlam. So, yeah. So we were talking. I know we went a little back off track to go back to the Wyatts, but I didn't want to cut you off from where we were with what were we talking about before that? Look at this. I just blanked on what we were talking about.
Now, did you see the latest? Now, let's go. You know the why the hash. Did you see the latest one where they showed like a mining shaft or whatever?
Yeah. Someone said that it also, that's the other rumor that I meant to say. They're saying that it could be the old set of Raw or SmackDown that they're bringing out.
That's just proves my point of them just building it up and then just out the door.
Oh,
But
man.
it should be interesting. I think Raw is going to be very good tonight, and it's going to be fun to see what happens with Roman and Seth Rollins. But before we move over to the next thing I really want to talk about with you is going to be the brand split.
Yeah.
But before we move over to that, I want to mention something real quick. I'm on our Twitter page. I run it mostly. I'm doing a little type fantasy type thing with this thing called Suplex Statement. He has a Twitter page. It's at Suplex Statement, and he does like a thing where you have to pick the winners each week. I mean, not each week, each pay-per-view.
Right.
So the first pay-per-view of the year, I think it was Payback. It didn't too well because that's for some reason heels were still winning. The Extremes Rule one for our show, we came in second place.
Wow, did we?
Well, I did the picks, of course, but we came in second place, and I
Well,
was one pick off from.
This is, you had Sami Zayn?
No. I had all the picks right. You had to pick returns. I had Rollins. Right before the pay-per-view, or right before the pre-show started, I picked Enzo to appear as well because I was reading everything that I thought he was going to come back with Cass, because I think a better way would be a pay-per-view than Raw. If I had just stayed with just Rollins, I'd have been a complete 100% that week for that pay-per-view.
You had the Miz retaining?
I did have the Miz retaining.
No way. You didn't have that on our picks when we talked about it.
I did not, but for this competition, I was
he's
like,
flip-flopping now, Paul.
Hey, but I got 100%. And I think as an overall standing in that thing, I believe I'm in the top 10.
Very nice, Matt. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, all
I
of a
say
Applause
sudden,
for you.
Matt's in love again with this.
But here's the
I
thing,
know.
though. For this thing, you have to pick pin, submission, or DQ, and I was getting all that.
Nice. Congratulations. That's very good.
But I mean, I know I didn't pick the Miz, but when I was doing this, I was like, you know what? There's no way the Miz doesn't win this. I gotta continue the Miz winning.
Well, yeah, now seeing as all of those guys are going to be in the Money in the Bank match, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're not putting champions. That's one thing that for a change so far, there's no champion in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which is great. So
All right. So
we'll see what happens with that.
let's move on to the biggest news that happened last weekend, the brand split. We got into it a little bit earlier. Let's really discuss it now. So you're going to have Roman Reigns, who's obviously going to go in as, I don't see him losing to Rollins, so I think he's going to go in as the champion of Raw. Now, I posted this on Twitter. I put Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens, and other. Dean Ambrose got the most votes as to be the SmackDown champion. Who do you think deserves the most to be the champion?
And the thing is, if there is another champion, because like we've talked about, there
we're
could
doing
be
ifs.
one champion, which would be kind of interesting too. But I hope to see a second champion if with the rumor that they're saying they have this big of it and they wanted to have each their own talent roster to make it live. So it's tough, man. I really wish that they would announce it, and that's what's going to happen. That at Money in the Bank, there's going to be a second ladder match for the vacated new heavyweight champion of SmackDown or something like that. I wish it would have been announced a little bit sooner
Hopefully
or
that's
something
the
of that
hashtag.
nature. If I had to pick one person right now that I'd like to see as the face of SmackDown, man, it's so hard. It really is. I'll stick with who I said from the beginning. You know what? I'm gonna switch it. I said I thought AJ would be the best one. I want to go with Kevin Owens
You know why I agree with you?
because then you have a heel champion on SmackDown and the face on Raw.
It's like we have the same mind. I was
Say?
thinking either Kevin or even Bray. I think
I would love if Bray got it, but
Bray-
think about it. When are they
What
actually gonna pull
about-
the trigger on that?
What do you think about Jericho?
KO. Who's some?
Kevin Owens. Yep.
Yeah.
What
that
would you think
that
about-
was mentioned on the chat? Someone said KO.
What do you think
would
if
be the one.
Jericho won the title? What would you think? How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't have an issue with him feuding for the world title. I just don't think he should be the champion, the first one at least. Not anymore. Not that he doesn't deserve it for everything he does, but I think him maybe winning the title from someone is good, but him being the first, it doesn't do anything. Like back in 2002, when he beat Stone Cold and The Rock and became the first ever undisputed champion, that was huge for Jericho's career. Now, if he was to be the guy that got beat in the finals by someone for the title, if they do something like that, I think that would be a great thing to kind of give that torch to someone else. But I don't think Jericho winning the title, however it happens, makes much sense right off the bat.
I'm going to ask another person on why you don't think this should be him. Do you not think Dean Ambrose doesn't deserve to be a title holder at one point? Or do you think maybe this is his chance finally? Having Roman and Dean as champions, now you got basically, I guess, the family as he includes
The
Dean and
bloodline.
his family, the brothers as champions. Do you
I
think,
don't
do you think a
I don't
stable could be
disagree.
formed?
Yeah, I don't disagree with him being the champ. I just don't see it happening. It's
Do
not
you
that
think he'll eventually get the title?
Yes, absolutely. I think he'll be the champion. If they do the secondary title, I'd almost say I'd guarantee that he'll be a champion before this time next year. If they do a second title on SmackDown. If they keep it with one WWE World Heavyweight Championship and it stays on Roman, no. I don't see him the champion within the next year.
Now, here's a question I have for everyone out there that I just posted on the chat. What if Triple H gets a hold of SmackDown and he says, you know what? I'm going to design a champion to someone who looks up to me, someone who really turned the corner for the new era. And then you hear and out comes Finn Balor. And Triple H has dubbed him the next great one. As in,
You're dreaming.
What you don't think there's a slight chance that an NXT guy coming up, like Finn, Triple H would be like, because Finn has always posted stuff about him and Triple H. Triple H is like, you know what? Here's my new era, and here comes Finn Balor.
I don't think they award him the championship outright. Get put in some kind of match for it, yeah. But just giving it, no. I don't think Triple H would do that. And it turns Finn heel, and I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would bring Finn up as a heel like that.
But here's the thing. You say you don't bring Finn up as a heel. What if he joins the club? Then what do you do? Because he's been teasing. I mean,
Then he wouldn't be the champion. Not right away, at least.
You don't
They're
think,
not going to award him the championship and turn him heel. I don't see them doing that. Not after everything he's done in NXT, where he was the longest reigning champion. He's had multiple and countless 5-star matches in the main event. I don't see them just handing him the title. Now, do I see him coming up to cost someone a match and then turning heel by joining the club? Yes. That I see more likely than him just being given the title. And I actually saw one of the guys in here said that he thinks that the Rollins and Reigns match will have a screwy finish. I see that happening. What exactly do you think would go down there, Sean, if you think that Rollins would necessarily get screwed out of the title and Reigns ends up keeping it, or in your scenario that Rollins would be awarded the other title? So if you don't mind, write us back in the comments about that, and I'd love to talk more about how you think that world title picture could expand.
Here's my thing about Finn. Let's say the club does go after AJ, and they tell AJ, look, it's going to be a handicap match, but if you can find someone, and let's say AJ brings down Finn, and now you have the club versus the club. Do you think this is where Finn would make his heel turn, all with AJ throughout the whole match, and then turns heel by turning on AJ in the middle of a pay-per-view? Like, let's say Money in the Bank, this is where it happens. What do you think about that? Do you think that's how you have Finn turn heel, as AJ's like, look, I'm going to bring out my true brother, someone who took over leadership, the guy who passed me the torch for the club leadership in Japan and all this stuff, and then he comes out, and then during Money in the Bank in a tag match, he screws AJ and throws up the sweet sign with the club. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Or
I
is
think
that how a better way would go?
I think that that's more plausible to bring him in. Now, I just saw in the comments here as well that they said that back then they gave the title, like you said, to Triple H when he went over there. They handed him. Yeah, and he was a heel. And that's the thing. He wasn't a fan favorite at the time. He had been one before, but at the time he wasn't. And I think the WWE is ultimately going to pull the trigger on Finn being a heel when he gets to the main roster. Because down in NXT, he's basically been the face. And, I mean, there's really no arguing that. He's been the guy of the company now in NXT for a while, So
Well, you saw
I
they
don't-
gave him the record, then they took the title off of him.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to give it to him because they know what he had been doing, for down there when they're touring, and they, just countless match after match of just, raising the bar. So I think that it's definitely something that could happen, but I don't know. I don't.
You know-
I see Finn debuting before the draft.
You know-
Can I say that?
We're talking about giving, the title and the Money Bank, and there's one guy I can't help to think that we've forgotten about Money in the Bank, The Last Chance, another main eventer that we're completely missing here.
Yeah. Who was he
Venom
wearing?
in your veins, huh? Randy Orton.
Why? No one's been talking about him lately, and it's really disturbing to me because I think this guy is probably one of the better wrestlers in this company in terms of the moves he does. And you know what? I wouldn't mind having Randy Orton help some of these young guys and him being the champion, maybe putting on some good matches, and then dropping the belt to someone. I think Orton deserves another title run on the secondary show, I think. Not the main one, the secondary show. I think he
Well-
could put up some great talent as a champion.
They did that years ago. Remember when Orton was the second face behind Cena, and they moved Orton to SmackDown, and then he beat Christian 5 days after he had won the title, and then carried the title there for a while, and then eventually gave it to Mark Henry, where he had his first big title reign. So I think that's something that Randy Orton would be a great role for. But honestly, I want to see Randy Orton back as the heel.
That's
I wouldn't
what I'm
mind
saying. There's your
seeing.
heel champion.
I wouldn't mind seeing Randy Orton as a heel on Raw against, whoever if it's Roman for a month or two until
But here's
he
the
has a big
problem.
match.
Anyone
But
that faces Roman can't go over as a heel.
yeah,
This is the problem that I hate to say it, but here's the problem that they're having in WWE right now. Anyone that's a heel that goes after Roman is going to be more over with the fans.
yeah,
And there's your problem. And
Yeah, I mean-
I hate to say it, but it is a problem. And I really do believe, and I'm a big Roman fan, but I really do believe that Roman has to lose the title this summer, and they have to put him, I think, in the back of a line a little bit and try to re-bring him back up and try to get him back with a fan favorite somehow. And there's only one way you're going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And you got to reform the Shield. That's the only way Roman will ever get back over to maybe you can try to get the fans to like him again. But I think he's
Yeah.
almost at the point where you can't save it.
and then if you really want to just make sure you solidify him as a heel, you could have him like in their first match back together. He could just turn on him immediately and be like, "I never needed them. You guys wanted me to do this because you didn't like me, and I should have realized all along that I didn't need you guys to cheer me again in the Shield. I don't need you guys to cheer me at all." And then that could solidify him automatically. But who knows? I don't think the Shield's anytime soon because, like you said, I think that they're going to split the three of them up between the brands. I think two of them will stay on Raw, and I think it'll be Rollins and Reigns, and I think that Ambrose will go to SmackDown. And if Ambrose becomes the champion, like you said, I would love to see Ambrose. I mean, that would be a great match. Ambrose and Orton at SummerSlam for the title.
Oh yeah, be a
I
hell
mean,
of a match.
both of them are crazy, and Orton's an awesome heel. So it would be nice to see that freshness from Orton instead of the same face character that they try to push on you. I'm not a big fan.
I think that
not
match
that-
with Jericho and Ambrose was amazing at Extreme Rules. Even especially what you can only do in the PG era with the thumbtacks. Let's be honest, in the PG era, did you really think someone was gonna get slammed on those?
No.
And they did it. I really do believe in the back they told someone back their event said, "Hey, look, someone's going through a thumbtack. This is
Yeah.
going to happen." And the fact that Chris Jericho would agree to that, for him being a veteran, how long he's been here, really shows to me that Jericho is really committed to putting over these guys. That proves it right there. Because any other veteran could have been like, you know what? No, I'm not going on thumbtacks for this guy. Let me put him on thumbtacks, and then he can beat me in a little comeback fashion. But he went on the thumbtacks.
Yeah.
And I give Jericho props for that. And it looked like those things hurt.
When
Yeah,
did that
and that's
happen?
and that's an Extreme Rules last Sunday, right? Yeah. Last Sunday it happened at Extreme Rules. It was a great match. I shouldn't say it was a great match, actually, to be honest with you. It was a good match. There were spots in it that made it interesting. I feel like the end made it better, but I feel like that it was kind of slow to start. The Fatal 4-Way to me was definitely the match of the night for the Intercontinental title. So they had some great spots there.
Someone
But,
wrote, what about Cena? Could he get Reigns cheered? And I was like, they both get booed. It'd be the
Yeah,
worst
they
main
would.
event ever.
They
People
would
would
both get
You
booed.
would have to put that match before a main event so people wouldn't leave.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and I would love to see. Well, I mean, people would probably want to watch it though, just for the pure fact of would one of them actually turn heel officially.
I wish so.
So,
Oh, that's
but
interesting.
also too, someone CIE wrote that Rusev could be the SmackDown and United States champion. Now, I do see Rusev being a dominant United States champion, but I don't think that he's ready for that kind of caliber of being the world
But
champion
another
and the.
SmackDown guy who could use the second
I
championship.
know. I think eventually he's going to be a world champion. I'd say within 3 years, but I think he's going to hold this U.S. title for 6-7 months to come, at least.
Good.
I think I could see that happening through the summer, probably into almost the end of next year. I'd say, end of this year. I'm sorry. But that's actually what we were talking about before, where I couldn't remember. It was who's Rusev go to next after Kalisto. On SmackDown, Titus O'Neil came out after the match, and Rusev wanted no part of it. So it's good to see Titus getting a title feud, but I don't see Titus
I think
being.
Titus would have the title right now if he didn't do that stupid crap. To be honest with you,
Yeah, it's possible.
I think he was. He could fit in the. I think he would have been in the ladder match for the IC title or something. I think he would. I think he was up for a title grab, and
Yeah.
you know, Vince overreacted.
Yeah, and that's another person we haven't talked about really that was originally supposed to be in the IC. Neville, when he comes back.
They said as soon as he comes back, he's in the title picture.
Do you think he benefit? What title?
IC. They've already said it.
Okay, awesome.
They said
So
as soon
he'll
as he comes
benefit from
back.
that. Do you think he benefits from the second world title in the long run?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
It's just normally you see the smaller guy wins the world title. Daniel Bryan, you know, his first was a smaller one. CM Punk's first was a smaller one. Wait, what? Yeah, CM. Wait.
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
Jack Swagger.
Swagger, Dolph.
Yep.
A lot of guys. Christian, even though Christian I think was more of a petty thing for Edge. No offense
Yeah.
to Christian, but I
No
think
offense
that's
to him,
what
yeah.
that was more for that.
Well,
I was gonna say Jeff, but Jeff won the WWE Championship, but he deserved
mhm.
that.
He won it on SmackDown, but it was the WWE title that he
No,
won. Yeah,
Jeff did not win it on the SmackDown.
sure he did. Go look
Jeff,
it up.
Jeff won at Armageddon.
It was a SmackDown pay-per-view against Triple H and Edge.
Oh, a SmackDown pay-per-view. But I meant he won it on a pay-per-view. I thought you meant he won it on.
Yeah, I'm saying it was the SmackDown title, but it was the WWE
Yeah.
title.
Paul,
but-
I have a quick question for you.
Who?
You.
Yeah.
When's the next time you think we can do a 7 o'clock show? When's it gonna be?
Actually, Lukey's last soccer practice was last week, so we're good for a while.
So maybe a 6:45 start.
6:45s, yeah, we can do 7 or 6:45. That shouldn't be too bad, I don't think.
Yeah, because I know what
When's-
Matt's
you
going
said
to want to
next-
announce.
Okay. What I want to announce is before we end the show, because I think we're about ready to run out because I want to get set up before Raw. Me and Anthony are gonna do a mock draft, and someone's gonna be SmackDown, someone's gonna be Raw.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to pick 10 superstars. We're not going to do 20 or whatever they're going to do. We're going to pick 10. The only tag team that can stay together is going to be the New Day, obviously, and that won't count. You won't have to give up 3 slots. We'll just make that clear.
Okay.
And we're going to do a little thing for a month and see whose roster does best. Obviously, it won't be the same roster, but, I'm going to try to keep track of the stats on wins and everything. We'll do up to 1 pay-per-view and see what happens.
That sounds fine
Real-
to me. Sure.
Yeah, real quick to add to that, what I want to do is I was actually thinking about it because from what I'm reading, they're saying all the tag teams are going to stay together. So do you want to do that? We each
Then we'll do
get
one. Then we each get 1 tag team.
one tag team, or we could do 1 tag team, 10 individual superstars,
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
and then I also want to do 1 NXT call up.
That's fine. All right.
All
so
right.
that'll be.
So we'll
our-
do those probably separate from the 10, so that like if I say my NXT call up is Nakamura, it's not like you have to jump to yours right away because I can't take another NXT guy, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
All right. All right.
So something like
that'll
that,
be-
but
we'll start. When our first show that we come back at 6:45, we'll do that.
yep. So we'll keep you updated. It could be next week, but it'll definitely be in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say. But it might be as soon as next week. Like I said, we'll definitely discuss that more and stay tuned on our social media accounts.
Yeah.
Of course, we have our awesome producer Paul that always keeps up, and then Matt keeps up, and I try and do my fair share myself. But we definitely try to keep up with that, and
Think
Yeah.
that's
hopefully
about-
you'll see some more from that. Yeah, and
That's
also
about it
Matt, do you
today.
want to pick the announce team as well?
Yeah, why
That would
not?
be
We'll do
fun.
that too.
Yeah, I know, because I know who you want, so now I'm gonna go for him before you get to him.
I actually don't want Graves. I want the other guy from SmackDown.
Mauro Ranallo, that's what
I
I,
like
want.
him.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. I think that's gonna do it for today. Anthony, I know you're gonna say it, but I'm gonna take it from you first. I like to thank everyone who was in the chat room today. I love the participation that we had with Sean and crap. Anthony was doing it more than me. but definitely Sean with the, in the chat room. Bloodthirsty just came on, and CIE. So thank you guys for being in the chat room and everything, and we appreciate it. So Anthony, I think you can do the
Yeah.
little final shamil as always, and then
Yeah,
Paul.
absolutely. Real quick before I say the goodbye, I just want to say thanks again. Like Matt said, I don't want to say pretty much recite everything he just said, but we do appreciate it, and I hope that you guys will join us again next week. And for everyone that's watching this, feel free to get in the chat with us and talk to us about stuff. We'll try and throughout the week post stuff about what we're going to talk about. This way you guys can ask us beforehand and we can bring it up on the show. But it was another great show, and we're happy to be back after, a couple, almost a full month since all three of us have been on the show together. So
Yeah, that's
it's
crazy.
great to be back on. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it when I read that. I was like, yeah, something's got to change. And I'm glad it came together today that all three of us could be here. So
That's good
yeah,
stuff.
it was awesome to be back tonight. And one thing I did want to say was it's actually my twin cousin's birthday today. So if you don't mind, I just wanted to give them a shout out. Alexa and Rebecca, happy birthday. I love you guys. And Paul, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right, sounds good. Happy birthday, Alexa, and who else?
Rebecca.
Alexa and Rebecca. Happy birthday. Right, so thanks again for everybody in the chat room. You really helped the show out and push it forward, gave me some great ideas. You can send in comments to ot3podcast@gmail.com. You can tweet us at ot3podcast1. And, of course, make sure that you like our Facebook page, Off the Top Turnbuckle. That'll keep you abreast on all the different things that are going to be going on, like the draft that might be going in. I just checked the calendar, by the way. It looks like I'm free, so next Monday might be that draft. I don't know, but stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you get the notice and be able to tune in. That would be fun to have a lot of everybody's participation as well, because they could follow along, maybe give their mocks as well in the chat room as well. So let's see what else. I guess that's pretty much it. So yeah, just make sure you smash that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. That would help the show out tremendously. We would appreciate it in a magnitude you could not believe.
And also, sorry, Paul, to cut you off. I'll let you
go for
continue, but Bloodthirsty just wrote it's his birthday, so happy birthday to you too, and thanks for watching tonight on your birthday. I hope you have a great one.
Happy birthday, Bloodthirsty. But that's it. I'm going to see if I can actually catch Raw tonight. See if that
Excellent.
would work. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, yeah. Sorry again, Paul. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's cool,
As
man.
usual, it's great to be back. Like I said, I know I've said it and sound like a broken record. We hope everyone enjoys Monday Night Raw, and we look forward to talking to you again next Monday. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Happy to be back. Have a great rest of the night. Matt and Paul, thanks again. You guys have a good one.
I'm going to go finish up some barbecue. That's right.
All right.
See you guys. Bye.
See ya.
You can't see me.